With necklaces and things, you're not really typically going for a very structured look. You're just going for something that's like loose and wearable. And I think with earrings, you can play around kind of with that loose and wearable, but you can also put like just a brick, not a brick in the sense of an actual brick, but like something that's just very structured and very immovable.
Where I grew up, we had this creek running through my neighborhood, and it was like the place where we would all go play. It's where I learned how to be creative. I would pretend to be a fairy, or I'd pretend to be someone who was just surviving in the woods, but I could always go back home. My name is Claire McWilliams. I am a member of the Navajo Nation, or the Dene, and I create beadwork in the form of earrings. So. These are kind of like my, how would you say that? My ode to traditional Navajo jewelry, because a lot of Navajo jewelry obviously uses the turquoise, and then coral. These are they're very hallmark pieces of Navajo jewelry. So I grew up in a very close community, but I also was one of the few people that I knew that wasn't white. And I think it's something that I kind of struggled with as a kid, and I was like, well, why don't I have blonde hair and blue eyes, and why don't I look like this? So there was a bit of like an identity crisis, I guess you could say, in my childhood, but for the most part of it, it was very idyllic. I think like most people, kind of when the pandemic started, we were all just stuck. We had nothing to do, nowhere to be, and I was like, I want to find something to do. This is kind of what I walked into.
These are more like square shaped, whereas these are very round. Mm-hmm. And these are more...
She'll get back from class and be like, I have to go bead. And she'll be there for hours, humming songs and just being in this zone. And it's so fun to watch her do that.
Honestly, for the most part, I just kind of picked up some beads and just started doing stuff.
Obviously with the Navajo, you see a lot of turquoise, which are these little guys.
Having a creative outlet is important in a lot of ways, but throughout my family's history, I guess you could say, my Navajo grandmother, she used to make jewelry as well. So it's been really great to share things with her because she's so proud of me.
So this is my jewelry box my grandma gave to me. This is a Navajo sand painting. A lot of things in here. There's so much. I have this watch that's broken. She made the little bracelet thing for it. This is something my grandma made for me. It has a bear at the bottom, of course, for Claire Bear.
Even though we haven't created together necessarily, I think it's been really special to share that with her and share the beauty of art with her as well, because she, in her own right, is like an artist.
Hello!
Their relationship is very strong on a family level, and yet also at a skill set level.
So anyway, yeah, it's a wonderful gift to have. And I'm glad you have it. And you're doing it.
Yeah. Thank you, Kina.
Oh, likewise, in your case, I'm happy that you did pick it up. And you're very observant. And I think you watched me or saw my work and decided that, hey, I think I'll do it too, Mm-hmm. And you're doing it. And it's just really, really wonderful. So you keep that up.
She gives me tools, she gives me beads, she gives me turquoise. It's been really special to share the beauty of art with her as well.
I mean, there's art all over. When you go outside, you see beautiful color. The trees are turning color. It's beautiful. That's art.
I would say one of the other really important things with her and her Kina is how she's trying, her sisters also, trying to keep the culture alive.
Yeah, do you want to introduce yourself in Navajo?
Yes. Piccione, which is Red House. That was my dad's clan.
Was he Red House or Many Goats? I thought he was Many Goats.
Okay, I'm Piccione.
It's difficult to feel connected to your culture, and so much of that is, again, this history of colonization and genocide and violence against Indigenous peoples. But I think that by so many Indigenous youth claiming their identity and saying, you know, I may not know much, but I'm trying and I want to know, and I'm going to build my practices and my spirituality and my traditions around kind of like this new generation of natives.
That's what we're supposed to do, you know, try to feed the good to the next generation.
I agree.
Even though the government and other people tried to take these practices from us and tried to transform our lives into something that was not us, I'm going to reclaim these, and I'm going to step into my own power, and I'm going to live my life to the degree of authenticity that I can create.
And I love you too, sweetie.
Ayo inishne shimasane.
Oh, sit off. So,
Okay.
bye.
Bye.